Look at the amount of balls I have. This is my obsession sketchbook. Now let's go quickly over this small sketchbook, which I think I did while I was doing the other two also, the second and third sketchbook. In between second and third sketchbook, I did this sketchbook. I started using it as just, like a pocket sketchbook to start understanding shapes better. You see, like I'm trying to rotate boxes again with ink, but the paper quality made me feel like ink would work very well here, so it has no texture. So I was right actually. It was fun to draw with ink. Here is where I started understanding like a box, I guess, on the head, which sounds weird to say because, of course, this is the relationship with neck and the box, but this is where I even simplified a head even more, and I drew a bunch of heads and necks in the perspectives a lot. This is my, basically, this is my obsession sketchbook. I think I need more of this sketchbook. This is a very good one because look, like it's just simple shapes and it's just pure obsession, because here directly I'm applying it to what I learned, and these, you'll see why I call this pure obsession. Look at this, just obsessively trying to understand and force myself to sketch in ink, and I'm getting there. This works, because more mistakes I make, more I understand that, look here, more I understand that these guiding lines are permanent. But this is basically me understanding features of the head. Me trying to, this is no, not here anymore. It's still here a little bit, but here is like me rotating an object, and I'm basically, I'm trying to create shortcuts of the shapes that are on the face. Because look, these things that I sketch here, these are the same everywhere. These are the milestones of the face. You need shortcuts for these shapes because they're very complex shapes, and they're multiple complex shapes working together, and you need to rotate them in space, so you need to simplify them. This is me. All of these pages are me trying to just do that, me trying to simplify human face and rotate it in space while drawing in ink. And I'm not good at portraits at this stage. I'm learning still. I don't know where, I think somebody dared me to draw a flower and I was like, okay. Yeah, more. And here I already understood. Here, because this is center and the movement in diagonals. Here is not fully, but enough to fake it. Here I understand, not fully, but enough to fake the perspective. And I have here like, let the 100 portrait challenge begin. I don't know if I did 100 portraits since then, but I did quite a lot. I might have done 100, but I'm not sure. If we count these, I'm not sure. I didn't continue counting basically at some point, but these are very good references. Very good references. Because after a while, like I lost resemblance here. But yeah, here I like how this guy turned out. Not bad with this, but this is way better. This guy has a more pronounced facial features, I guess, so this is a better sketch. But yeah, continued here, here, it stopped. I stopped here because I realized that female features are a bit different. I didn't count this one because it was too bad. Then I made this and I realized that female features are uh, quite a bit softer and need different type of shading, different type of approach altogether. This is how when I started to learn how to shade with ink. Still learning, but this is like the beginning of me understanding it. And this is why I call this journal an obsession journal. I circled these afterwards, but this is like basically I'm trying to understand how to wrap the shadow around a sphere in an efficient manner. I like this also, but look at this. Look at the amount of balls I have sketched. This is why I call this an obsession sketchbook, because look at this. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pages to figure out how to hatch, how to shade, how to render a ball with ink. This is why I call this obsession sketchbook. Anyway, moving on. Got back to female figure with a bit more understanding, but still I understood that there's some things I don't get, so I just jumped to simple gratifications, and this is just a sketch of a bed nap. Yeah, some notes to myself and back to sketching portraits. Trying to bring in some figure here. I like how this Spider-Man looks. This is also a very cool pose. Hey, this is, I think, where I settled for balls. This is my favorite ball, I think. I'm not sure. This is a good one because this turned into this, I think. And then this sketch of a Spider-Man, this paint, or is this a sketch? No, this artwork of a Spider-Man. Still figuring out how to shade balls properly. This is some random spaceship. I like this portrait actually. This is more deliberate type of shading with ink now. Still figuring out shapes of the face. Here I got somewhere I liked. I also like how I started shading here, but I think I gave up because it's hard. It needed too much dedication and I did not want to shade hair this way. This is, yeah, freehand. Also still trying to, I don't know how I would shade a ball now, but still, this is a concept sketch for one of my workshops. This is me trying to experiment with shading with ink again. I like how this turned out actually, and this bar is also pretty cool. This is me rendering drapes with ink, which this is not the most fun. At least it wasn't back then, I don't know now. Yeah, it says, I keep hatching as if it's a pencil. Sometimes I get it, but then it feels frustrating. Yep. But here it turned out much better. Some notes again. Sketching is different from learning to draw. I finally got some interesting hatching with ink here. This is also some concept for a concept sketch for my course. Also thumbnailing for my course. Let's ignore this. Here I went back to drawing balls again. And exercise is to draw a circle and make it three-dimensional by, you know how you would make cube with different faces. This is basically how to draw a sphere while drawing circles as faces instead of like, you draw sphere as a cube basically, and you end up drawing many circles. Like here, you do this, so all 6 sides of the cube that you would do, you do in circles, and then you unify like this, and it becomes a sphere like this. And here I have these animation principles, and then a lot more fundamentals, just some organic sketches, sketches of organic shapes, principles, animation principles. And here, this is what I mean. It's more clear here. This is a very good exercise, very useful exercise. Like you do a cube and then you turn each face. Then you turn each face of the cube into a circle, and then you turn those circles, unify them into a sphere, and sometimes you get very interesting shapes, like a drop, for example. Anyway, that's the end of my obsession sketchbook.